Magicians have an inborn charisma to surprise and shock all of us.
Yes, it is.
With their jaw-dropping but real magic tricks. So be it Dynamo's famous fountain ice trick, or the classic rabbit from hat trick, Smoothini's amazing dollar trick, or Jamie Raven turning fire into ice. Hello and welcome back to Factor Fusion. Today we're gonna unlock the top secrets behind the world's greatest magic tricks of all time. So let's get started. At number 7. Fountain Ice Trick. Dynamo, the magician beyond magic, performed the trick in which he froze the complete water fountain by defying all the rules and laws of physics. You might be even wondering as how come he was able to do that. The trick is very much planned trick of Dynamo as usual. To begin with, he touches the water and the water starts to freeze into ice. But that did not happen actually, and here's the secret. There was already a layer of ice at the bottom of the fountain water, which was made to rise above by pulling the water downwards. Also, to amaze the audience even more, Dynamo even froze the fountain water source. Well, if you look closely, the ice flow is actually narrower than the stream of water, which makes this possible that the frozen stream of ice was already present and the water was made to flow over it, which was later stopped. That made it to look like the stream of the water has also frozen. At number 6. Fire turns to ice. Jamie Raven moves on to amaze Alicia and audience with his amazing performance in which he converts the fire into ice. During this trick, after placing the lighter on the table, Jamie gets a paper from his pocket, which is not any usual paper but a flash paper, which is usually used in magic to create large flash of fire to hide the quick movements from the audience. Also, if you look carefully after taking out the flash paper, Jamie turns a bit towards the right and using his right hand he gets an ice from his pocket. With the ice now hidden in his hand, he covers the flash of fire with that right hand, thus placing the ice in between both of his hands. He moves on to squeeze few droplets of water from the ice, showing all that he is actually performing some magic. And finally he gets the ice in the Alicia's hand, thus turning fire into ice. At number 5. Darcy Oake's Egg and Girl Trick. We all know Darcy Oake, the great talented magician in the America's Got Talent. In one of his magic tricks, he got an egg from the bird, and from the egg he got a bird again. Well, to begin with, if you look closely, he already had an egg in his hand, which he must have got from one of his jacket pockets before it gets dropped in his other hand. Also, there is no bird coming out of the egg. It's all coming right from the Darcy's pockets. If we take a close look, you can see that Darcy turned towards left, and hiding the position of his left hand, he gets a small bird in his left hand. Then he covered his left hand with the other hand, which has an empty egg shell. Here you can clearly see the tail end of the bird. And to get the bird, he simply cracked the eggshell and dropped on the floor, which can be seen clearly in slow motion, thus making the illusion of getting a bird from an egg. It didn't end here. In the last part of his magic trick, he gets a girl out of the cage placed on the table. Well, that even is very simple to make out. First he covers the cage with a piece of black cloth, and as you can see here, the size of the cage seems to be way long than it actually is when seen from the front by the audience. Yes, you got it. The cage placed on the table has two compartments. The first compartment had the cage that's clearly visible, and the back compartment was the space where the girl was hiding throughout the magic since the start of the show. At number 4. David Blaine's Insane Card Trick. David Blaine, the magician known for his amazing jaw-breaking magic feat. This time he chose to do a simple card trick on the Ellen show. He first calls upon a girl from the audience to make the trick even more interesting. He takes a deck of cards and asks Ellen to choose any card at random and sign over it. He then places the card in between the deck, shuffles it many times, and allows that to stay in between the palms of Ellen. Then he asks the girl to say any random number and the girl chooses 13.
13th from the top.
David then asked to check the 13th card from the top of the deck, and that card was supposed to be the card that Ellen signed. But the 13th card wasn't the card that Ellen signed.
That's not the card.
Oh, that's not your card?
No.
So David made the final part of the trick. He said that he folded the card and flicked that through the air under the wristwatch of Ellen. And finally that card was the actually one that Ellen signed. So now you might be thinking, how come the card landed under the wristwatch of Ellen? Well, if you rewind back the video and watch the video carefully, you can easily figure out this trick. If you look here, when David placed the card in between the palms of Ellen, he very quickly took his right hand under the wristwatch where he had the card removed from the deck and folded under it. He then quickly places the card under the watch without Ellen even noticing that. You could even see the card already folded and fixed under the Ellen's wristwatch. And everything that David said about the card moving through the air under the wristwatch of Ellen was just a misdirection. Act number 3. Smoothini's Magic Dollar Bill. We all know Smoothini in America's Got Talent for his amazing bar magic tricks. But in this magic trick, Smoothini seems to play around with some cash. In this trick, Smoothini takes a $100 bill and moves the federal seal from its original position to the other end of the bill. And when Harvey checked that dollar bill, he found the federal seal to be real and actually being moved to a new position. Well, you might now be thinking that this man really has got some supernatural powers. But that's not totally true. If you look at the video carefully, you'll find that the dollar bill was actually a gimmick bill, which already had the seal at the final position where Smoothini wanted it to be, at the end of the trick. While showing the dollar bill to the audience, the seal can actually be seen pre-existed at that location. But how come $1 bill have two seals on it? So the answer to that is, the seal at the original position is not real and is only held onto that position using a magnet behind the bill, and the magnet allows the seal to be easily moved to any position on the bill. And finally, when Smoothini gets that to the position where he wanted, he quickly takes the magnet away from the bill and keeps that in his pocket, which even can be seen. And if you noticed, while showing the seal on the dollar bill before performing the trick, he actually folded the bill backwards into half. That was only done to hide the previously marked seal on its back end from the audience. Act number 2. Rabbit from Hat. Most of us in our childhood must have seen a magic in which a magician brings out a rabbit from their hat.
Wow.
Well, this trick is really simple and all the magic lies in the table above which the hat is placed to begin the magic. The top of the hat has a flap that easily gets open, and beneath that flap, there's a hole on the table into which the magician reaches where the rabbit is already placed. He simply gets the rabbit out from the table through the hat, which makes everyone believe that he actually got a rabbit out from nowhere. So finally, the number 1 magic trick in our list, Shin Lim's card illusion. Shin Lim, the unbelievable close-up magician in America's Got Talent, performed a magic trick in which he asked Ira to get a card from the deck of the cards and sign her name on top of it. That card was a Queen of Spades. She was asked to place that card in the middle of the deck. Shin Lim, in a quick moment, brings the card from the middle to the top of the deck just by moving his hand over the deck. Obviously, there's a trick even to this magic. Let's begin to unveil that. If you look closely, the top card that Shin Lim holds has a crease at the center. That's because the top card is a gimmick card that is foldable from the center and has a flap in the front. Something like this that makes the illusion of a deck of cards. But the position where Shin Lim places the Tyra's card was not in the middle of the deck, but just below the first card, which was a gimmick card, which was easily folded and taken off by moving his other hand over it. This is how Shin Lim hovers his hand over the deck, and the card gets folded and carried away in the palm of his other hand, and finally revealing the card on which Tyra had her signature. So guys, hope you got the secrets behind some of the greatest magic tricks. Which magic secret impressed you the most? And is there any magic you would like to see revealed in our next video? Let us know in the comments below. Do like and share this video with your friends on social media. For more such amazing things, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And finally, thanks for watching.